Hey guys, it's Comic Wiz here bringing a comic review, and today I'm going to be doing Superior Spider-Man issue 2. So yeah, let's get into this issue. So, from last issue we find out that Peter Parker may not be dead. I mean the real Peter Parker may not be dead. So in the intro of this issue explains that Peter Parker's consciousness is buried deep inside of his, Doc Ock's now body. He's buried inside, so maybe for those of you who are hoping that the gold Spider-Bot was able to inject some of his consciousness. So basically Peter's consciousness is still inside his body, but since for whatever reason it's not the superior mind at the moment, so basically it's been forced down to the point where it's like in his subconscious. He's not, like, Doc Ock's not aware that Peter's still there, which is the reason why he's been portrayed in this like ghostly form. So basically it's like in his subconscious right now. So yeah, so those who are hoping that Peter's not dead totally anyway, he's still there, but he's not in control of his body. So at the beginning of this issue we find out that Doc Ock's held a press conference. The city now seem to love him. They're praising him for what he's done in the city, things like that. Even J. Jonah Jameson comes out and says that I may have been wrong about you, so on behalf of the city I thank you, Spider-Man. And Doc Ock's really enjoying this. He's living a perfect life, kind of reinforcing the whole superior Spider-Man thing. And Peter, because he's still part of Doc Ock, he's still part of Doc Ock, he's watching all this saying, how are people taking this? It's not even fair. When I was Spider-Man, people treat me like crap. Now even J. Jonah Jameson's thanking this guy. I mean, it's not me, but as soon as I lose my body, Spider-Man gets a good rep in the city. So yeah, throughout this issue I was really laughing because people were complaining about how the wit of Peter Parker will be lost now that he's been replaced by Doc Ock. But if you're looking for Peter's wit, his humor is definitely here. It's chock. This issue is chock full of it. So then after that, we cut to Doc Ock's now saying like, alright, Spider-Man, everything's going smooth for him right now. So let's work on phase 2, getting things going with Mary Jane. So Doc Ock actually, he's gone to meet Mary Jane at a coffee house. They're talking. Then Mary Jane's like, alright, what we're gonna do right now has to wait. Then Doc Ock's like, why? She's like, alright, there's a fire truck outside, we probably have to go sort that out and go on patrol. Then he leaves and he's like, oh, for crying out loud. Honestly, how does Peter deal with this? Being with Mary Jane, then all of a sudden being called away. There's got to be a better solution to all this, isn't there? Then Peter's like, oh yeah, now you know how I felt. Well, this is what comes with the job. With great power comes great responsibility. So then later on, we see Doc Ock at Horizon Labs, and he's working on a new Spider-Bot, which basically, and he's working on several of them, which basically act as monitors, which are scattered throughout the city and basically carry out surveillance for him, which means that he doesn't need to go on patrol anymore looking for danger. These things look for danger for him, and they all relay it to his app, which he could easily just check on his iPad or his phone, which Peter admits to himself that that's actually a good idea. So as a result of this, he's got more time to spend with Mary Jane rather than wasting time going on patrol. So throughout this issue, he goes through several attempts to try and win her heart. The first time they go to the cinema, and then he rates the outcome of it as inconclusive because he's really rating this based on like results, like an experiment. So like the first date he rated as inconclusive. The second date they go dancing. He rates it as disappointing, and this is going on because at the end of each night she just gives Peter or Doc Ock a kiss on the cheek and says good night. Then he's like, Doc Ock, as time's going on, he's getting frustrated, and Peter's like, told you, she's my soulmate. You don't have what I have, so it's not gonna work between you two. So then third date, they go ice skating, and Peter's just stressed like, oh no. He's just getting frustrated. So then the third day after that, he'd rate it as infuriating. Then Mojo's like, thanks for taking this slow, and Doc Ock's like, yeah, I understand, but you can tell if he's pissed, and Peter's enjoying this, seeing like how he's trying and failing. Then as it's happening, Peter thinks that Mary Jane might actually have some doubts about Doc Ock, that she might actually know that that's not really him, because actually from this issue she does mention that how he is acting different. Finally, which people have also complaining about, that she's been worried about why he's been at holding press conferences, why all of a sudden he's created all these spider bots to carry out his patrols for him. That it's a smart idea to do, but it doesn't seem to be him. So then later we get to their fourth date, which is at Mary Jane's nightclub. But while they're there, there are these three individuals watching them, but we have no idea who they are at first. They're like in the shadows, and they're pretty much hatching a plan, which looks like they're about to capture Mary Jane or something. So while they're at Mary Jane's nightclub, they're dancing, but then Peter's Doc Ock actually, he's thinking, what is he gonna do? Why is everything he's tried so far been such a failure? So then his spider sense starts going off. Then Peter's like, alright Ock, you've got to go do your Spider-Man thing. But Ock, he's like, no, you know what, I've got a perfect idea. Since his spider sense ran off, he just gave him an idea that he's going to take Mary Jane swinging. But Peter's like, there's danger somewhere, why won't you go do it, something about it? So then him and Mary Jane go swinging, and basically Mary Jane's gonna like all this rush, all this excitement, that she's actually starting to warm up to him. And the Doc Ock scene, like, yes, finally he's done it. That she's starting to he realizes that Mary Jane likes the excitement, the danger of being with a guy like Peter Parker, who's Spider-Man. And Peter's like, oh no, don't do it, Mary Jane, this isn't me, please don't fall for his tricks. So while Doc Ock seems to have like won Mary Jane's heart over, he finds out that Carly's at her house, that she's been staying there. So like, because Carly's there, she doesn't invite Doc Ock into her house. So basically that kind of ruins everything for her. Well, for him, sorry. So Doc Ock goes back home. He's annoyed that even after he'd tried so hard, he almost got there with Mary Jane, but then something else had to get in the way. So as he gets home, he goes to sleep. Next day when he wakes up, his spider wrap goes up, and then he alerts him that there's a problem at Mary Jane's nightclub. So he rushes there, and along the way there's a mugging taking place. Peter's like, "Oh, you gotta go stop this," but because he's too concentrated on Mary Jane, and he's like, just a petty mugging, nothing much will come of that. Peter's like, why are you doing this? You have to take care of this. Even though Mary Jane's upset, you have to go help that guy. But just doesn't just ignores the guy, and he goes to take care of what's going on with Mary Jane. Then we find out that these three guys that were watching Mary Jane and Peter earlier on, the previous night, they're henchmen of the Falcon, and they've pretty much gone into break into Mary Jane's nightclub, because apparently it used to be the site of where the Falcon used to have his base of operations and stuff, and they've basically come to break in and steal what the Falcon left there. So Mary Jane's protesting, saying, you can't do this. So as a result, the Falcon's henchmen grab her and drop her out the window. So Mary Jane's falling down. Peter's screaming, you got to make a web net. But Doc Ock was going to use a web blind instead. But he makes a web net instead, which shows that maybe in certain intense situations, that maybe Doc Ock subconsciously can actually hear Peter's voice, which may explain the reason why back in issue 1 he didn't kill Boomerang, or when he didn't leave that police officer at the beginning of issue 1 when they were being attacked by the Sinister Six. So yeah, when he saves Mary Jane seems like falling totally in love with him now. As they're about to kiss, Doc Ock's like, no, I can't do this. Then Peter's like, wait, what? So then Doc Ock's like, basically in plain terms, because he says this all in like his evil genius speech, he basically says that with them being together, it's always going to be this Peter will always have to be neglecting her, going off to do his superhero work, and Mary Jane being left alone. Then eventually she'll get caught up in all the danger. So as a result, Doc Ock breaks up with her, and Peter's like, "Whoa, maybe you do have what it takes to be a hero, because what you've done, I wouldn't have had the guts to do." So at the end, Doc Ock swings away, and later we cut to Carly and Mary Jane. So Mary Jane's telling Carly what happened that day that he broke up with her, and Carly's thinking like, the way you're explaining Peter these days, it's like he's a different person. Then Mary Jane's like, "Yeah, I know," but then Carly's like thinking at the same time of what happened with her and Doc Ock back in 700, Amazing Spider-Man issue 700, and remembering Doc Ock said that he's Spider-Man. So then Carly's like, "Okay, I have to get out of my sick leave. That it's time for me to get back into back into work, and there's a mystery that I have to solve," which implies that now she's gonna look into the whole claim that Doc Ock was actually Spider-Man. So meaning that Carly does have this feeling that Peter Parker may not be who he says he is, and that Doc Ock might actually be the real Spider-Man, and that's where it ends. Overall, this issue was just amazing for me. To be honest, even though there wasn't much action, but the interaction between Doc Ock, his attempts to woo Mary Jane, but how it wasn't working, and also the fact with Peter Parker coming back, and how like this dynamic where he's always like, even though they can't see him, but he's always there cracking jokes. Because there was even a time where Mary Jane and him and Doc Ock were talking, and then Mary Jane was like, "Our third date, this is weird, isn't it?" Then Doc Ock was like, "No, it's going precisely as planned." Then Peter was like, "Oh, how do you not know this is not me? He's using his evil villain speech." I was just cracking up when I was hearing this. This issue was definitely amazing. The wit of Peter Parker really brought it up for me. The dynamic between Doc Ock, how he's trying to get with Mary Jane, and also the fact that in the end he did the noble thing by breaking up with her as to protect her from all the danger of being with Spider-Man. So yeah, and really, down slot, people criticized him for killing off Peter Parker, but for me, I'm really liking this. Even though I myself really hated the idea of Peter Parker getting killed, I have to admit, this was good. So far so good. 2 issues down, and it's been great. Dan Slott's really been doing well with this. The writing's been superb. Ryan Stegman especially, his artwork is amazing. He's just nailed the looks of Peter Parker, Mary Jane, everything's just amazing. So I give this overall 10 out of 10. It was definitely my favorite issue out of all the comics I got this week. So yeah, I definitely recommend you guys pick this issue up. It is a must-have. Even if you did say that after 700 that you wouldn't be picking up Spider-Man comics anymore, definitely give this a chance because it is a good series so far. So yeah, that's the end of this review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, favorite, share this video. Also don't forget to comment, tell me what you thought about this issue, and also my performance. Tell me what I can improve on my reviews, etc. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This has been Comic Quiz, signing out guys. See ya.